But let's get you started with the focus at this hour, and that's the diplomatic standoff between India and Canada, which is refusing to die down. Breaking news that we are now getting to you is that it looks like Justin Trudeau and his administration are towing the pro-Khalistani line, the line that seems to be fed to them there, because we now have a poster that has come up where pro-Khalistani sympathizers are alleging that their community is under attack in British Columbia especially, and they want the Trudeau government to now act. Khalistanis are now claiming that they're under threat. They have in fact blamed the administration, the local one there, the police, for inaction and for the threats that their community is receiving. Remember, it's not the entire Sikh community, it's just one element there, one portion of the entire Sikh community. The pro-Khalistani sympathizers that find no backing within the larger community that are now coming out to make this allegation, to accuse the Trudeau government and blame them for their inaction. In fact, going ahead to blame India, just like Justin Trudeau, the Canadian Prime Minister, did not too long ago, for the kind of attacks that are happening there in Canada. This notice that you see on your screens is from British Columbia, where these pro-Khalistani sympathizers are now alleging that their life is at risk, that they are under threat, and the Trudeau administration needs to wake up and act. Abhishek will be joining us shortly to get us more details of what exactly is transpiring. But to put this in perspective, if you remember, not too long ago, Justin Trudeau, the Canadian Prime Minister, stood up in his parliament and went on to blame India for the death of a Khalistani sympathizer, Hardeep Nijjar. Now we have pro-Khalistani sympathizers, that very section, come out and blame the Trudeau administration for not doing enough in keeping them safe. They too are now blaming India. It's interesting how the same kind of words are being used against India by both these Khalistani sympathizers and that one section in Canada and the Trudeau administration. Abhishek, my colleague, now joining us, getting us more details. Abhishek, the Canadian administration was forced to tone down. Their demeanor had to change because India was tightening the screws diplomatically. It looks like domestically also Justin Trudeau is now going to be facing the ire of these pro-Khalistani groups. A catch-22 situation for him.
Well, this is a very tricky situation for Justin Trudeau government. In fact, for whom he has been kind of batting for all his political life. Now they are also not kind of siding along with him on the, at a time when he's politically in a very troubled situation. This is what has happened in Canada. We have seen, recently the tweets of Jagmeet Singh, who happens to be one of his close partner and ally also. He has also been kind of questioning Justin Trudeau government's policies regarding the higher inflation, cost of living, and all the economic mess that has been troubling Canadian people for a very long time, and which has become an issue also in the recent days, with eventually bringing down the popularity ranking of Canadian Prime Minister as well. So now Khalistanis who have been a trouble for India, the terrorists and the violent ideology that they have been propagating from the soil of Canada against India, that is something that India has also tried to make aware the Justin Trudeau government, but he has not paid heed to that, and now these are the same people who are also trying to corner him politically in the domestic politics of Canada as well.
And it's interesting the kind of language that has been used in this particular notice that has been put up, and the kind of language that Justin Trudeau has used back then when he declared that it was India that was to blame for Nijjar's death. It's the same kind of allegation that these pro-Khalistani groups are also making. Looks like somebody is reading off someone else's script. We don't know which way that is really going there.
Well, at least with the latest allegation that is coming from the same Khalistani quarters in Canada, one thing is clear, that India has alleged on the Canadian soil, that it has become a hotspot for organized crime, gun violence, drug cartel, and several illicit trading that is happening, and several people who have been sympathizers with the Khalistani group have been involved in this. The latest kind of alarming, or the warning that is coming from these Khalistani quarters is that Sikhs in British Columbia have received safety warnings, and they are the most vulnerable right now. We know a very concentrated population of Sikhs are in British Columbia, which has also been kind of a hotbed for Khalistani movement. And there are several places where these people or these violent agents have been getting shelters. Political patronage is one of the things that is very much evident. Also, we have seen Prime Minister Trudeau and his government not taking any action against these people. And now the same people are raising questions on the overall security scenario and saying that Sikhs in British Columbia are being targeted and they are in the danger, and the threat and intimidation is being used against them.
Right. Right, it'll be interesting to see how the British administration, I beg your pardon, the Canadian administration, their response to this entire allegation that has come to the fore.